Good morning, Devils fans, as we win yet another one, making it 5 in our last 6 with a 2-1 victory over the Seattle Kraken. This is the lowest total scoring game for a win in the entire season. Previously, every game we have won had a minimum combined goals between the two teams of 6. Obviously, only 3 in this. It's also the first game we won without needing to score 4 or more goals, as it only took 2, only gave up 1. Yeah, we got outshot like crazy. Something I talked about in yesterday's preview, because Seattle's lines are really, really good at that. And like I also pointed out, they have not quite found the scoring touch yet this season, and that was pretty much on full display in this one as well. Really, it's only McCann that has been putting it in the net for them, and thankfully, he found the crossbar on a 2-on-1 defensive breakdown when we were on the power play late there in the third period when I thought we were going to seal it away, and instead gave me a heart attack and they almost tied it up. But they didn't, because the cope is Schmidt had the net completely blocked off, and the only way that puck was getting through was hitting the crossbar. So that's what I always said watching Marty growing up. Anytime a puck hit the post or crossbar, it was, oh well, he had the net covered. That was the only place it could go. It's the best cope for a goalie. But overall, I mean, not the best of games, not the absolute worst either. I know some people are thinking, oh, look, finally the defense shores up and we're not giving up as many high danger chances. Well, not really. That's not exactly the case. We gave up a ton of shots. Now, they weren't the most high quality of chances across the board. Seattle is a Corsi team. They like to throw the puck at the net a lot, even on low danger type chances. They also didn't have a ton of great rebound chances, but they had their chances. This was, I believe, tied for the 6th most of all the games so far this season for high danger chances against. It was also our 2nd worst game of the entire year for high danger chance percentage. Again, that's how many did we give up versus how many did we put up, as we did not put up a ton in this game, but thankfully we didn't really have to. Let's go ahead and talk about the goals. First one on the board was there for us. A beautiful up the ice pass from Marino over to Nico, who then goes cross ice again over to Marino, who then goes basically backdoor pass across the seam to Palat and Bratt. Palat was the first and closest one, got the stick on it, and Palat puts it in. I know, at least in my chat groups, there's always a lot of nice little discourse over Palat, but he has been absolutely crushing it so far this year. Is he worth a $6 million contract? Well, at least in this last stretch of play, absolutely. Normally in the regular season, over the course of that entire contract, probably not. But, I mean, if he keeps playing like this, and it's looking really good. And we know that contract was signed because he won 2 cups, where went to 3 straight, what he's going to bring in the locker room. But more so is that playoff play, which we are very well on our way to. Because while we are technically still on the outside looking in, points percentage wise, games in hand, all that stuff, it is looking very promising for putting ourselves right back into top 3 in the Metro, as a lot of these other teams are kind of falling off a bit. The Islanders are just hanging on in there, but I'm not worried about them. The Flyers have fallen off. Capitals have fallen off. The Flyers did get the win last night. Penguins are struggling. Carolina is struggling. Really, it's just the Rangers kind of running away with it, and us now on the upswing, and everybody else either middling it out or falling off completely. So it is looking good there from a standings perspective. Now, we did have the 1 goal against, which was a bit of a defensive breakdown. They get the surefire goal right out front. Basically, Schmidt has no chance there. And I kind of wanted to mention this a bit more at the top, but we got our first goalie steal of the entire season. I've been calling for that for weeks. Now, for those that don't know it for sure, basically is the goals you saved above expected enough to have flipped the game. So in this case, if Schmidt saved more than 1 above expected, which he did, the game would then be flipped to tied, or then the Seattle Kraken taking the lead. And so in this case, he saved more than the difference that we won by. And so it is a goalie steal. Now, even if we gave up all those chances and say we won 4-1 or something, it then technically would not be a goalie steal, even if they had more chances, yada, yada. But in this case, it absolutely was. First time all season, and we'll take it. It wasn't, I would say, the most ridiculous game from Schmidt. He did have some really great saves. There was a couple crossbars, a couple posts, although I think 1 or 2 of those were on the outside, so not really that dangerous. But he played well. He did have a couple big stops, especially at points in the second, but mostly in the third period where Seattle did take over. And credit to Schmid. We have a back-to-back coming up this weekend. My take would be VTech Saturday versus Calgary, and then throw Schmid in Edmonton for the Sunday game. I definitely would not go, Schmid again playing both games or anything like that. So, got to play both goalies. VTech's got to take one of them. I would put him against Calgary. From there, let's go ahead and talk about. While we're talking about big momentous occasions, Nemec gets his first goal, first NHL goal, first career NHL goal, however you want to put it. Fantastic stuff. I thought he played yet again another great game. Still has some defensive deficiencies, if you want to put it that way, to work on. But I actually think there was none that were truly brutal in this one. Like the previous game, I thought he had a couple with some passes and in zone play, but this one not so bad. Overall, Ball Marino still seems to struggle a bit, even though Marino did have the great offensive play for the first goal. But it was not their best game either, but wasn't really their worst. Really, the worst defensive breakdown was on that power play late in the third. Whoa, so glad they did not tie it there. That would have stunk. Otherwise, I thought we did, and then obviously the first goal had the breakdown. But otherwise, I thought we actually did play decently enough defensively. Now, the reason I put it that way is because we've played decently enough defensively all year. So while this was definitely on the lower half of our defensive games, it was good enough that our offense should have been able to take over. The problem was our offense did not take over at all. So let's look at the forward lines. Jack's line was so-so. It was probably one of their poorer stretches as of late. I wouldn't say it was Jack's worst game because he was pretty electric to start and then kind of faded away a little bit. A lot of that, I think, was just some of the broken up plays, the way the special teams kind of worked out. We technically were 0-3 on the power play, but one of those was only for 4 seconds. It really was only 2 power play chances, and I thought they were okay on them. It definitely was not the top power play in the league, deadly, one we were looking for. And like I said in the preview, Seattle's actually really good. Not really good. They're pretty good at preventing chances against. The problem is when those chances do eventually do get through, their goalies aren't showing up for them. And really on our power plays, their goalies didn't have to do much as their PK unit really did shut it down and played very well. The Nico line, again, was our best line of the night, 5-on-5. They got the goal. They looked fantastic. Bratt had the beautiful, brilliant play behind the net. Beautiful pass over to Nemec, right in the slot. Beautiful shot, gets his first goal. I thought Nemec also had a elite cross-seam pass over to Jack at one point. Now, it didn't lead to anything, but just the pinch play, the no-look cross-seam pass over to Jack. I don't remember exactly at what point in the game it was, but that's one of those elite offensive vision type plays that could lead to a really great chance. In this case, it didn't, but you isolate that play, and Nemec offensively is, oh lordy, this kid could do some damage over the years. My God. Now, the third line. Don't like it. I really don't. Mercer had multiple times he could have cleared the puck and didn't. Meyer along the boards has looked brutal. Mercer also had an awful pass in zone that led to us getting hemmed in. Multiple grade A chances against just off of that one miscue play from him. I don't put a lot on Holtz here because the in zone defense is not really going to be his forte. It never was. It's not what he was brought in. It's not what he's here to do. Obviously, he needs to still do some of it, and he has at points. He didn't really in this game. And when you have someone like Mercer and Meyer just, I don't know exactly what's going on. Timo, I think, is still fighting through something. If you look at the NJ.com Novozinski interview with Ruff, it does seem to be the case that he is playing through something, trying to work his way back in. Mercer just has not looked great at center. After the Jack line did not dominate, I know when they do play well, it's hard to break it up, but this one they didn't. I really would like to see Haula honestly swapped out for any of the three. Do Mercer, do Meyer, do Holt. I don't care which one. Flip one of those guys with Haula and slide Haula down to the third line, and then whichever guy you move up, figure out that third line however you're going to do it. That's what I would do. They did take Nate out for Smith, which is something I was calling for. I did like seeing that. Yeah, Smith took the penalty, but otherwise I thought the fourth line looked great. It was called out on the broadcast. That fourth line earned themselves an icing, which got us the Nico line out, and that's what led to one of the goals. So you do love to see that as well. That's what the fourth line really should be doing. That's what you want out of them. When they produce, awesome, but your fourth line needs to have the puck in the other team's zone and be forcing icings. Is really what you want out of your fourth line to then get their bottom guys out against your top guys because they can't switch out. And that's what they did, and we got a goal off of it. That is pretty much NHL Hockey 101. Yeah, I mean, Luke had another good game. Siegs, I thought, was pretty good. Nemec still looks fantastic. Learning, I mean, 4 games in now. Love to see it. I think that really covers it. I actually thought Grubauer played a pretty good game. He made some pretty nice stops that kept this game in one for them. But definitely Seattle had the better of the play for sure. I don't know if this was Seattle truly just taking over and stopping our game, or if we kind of peeled back a little bit and was trying to play a low scoring 1 goal lead. Can we hold on to it just to learn in season? I don't quite know exactly how the coaching staff goes about bringing that up, or if it's subconscious or what. It does seem like we kind of took a step back from the high flying game there in the third and really just tried to bolster down and not give up chances. The best one we gave up was on our power play. So overall, I do think it was a fine defensive effort, but definitely not our best. And really, it was buoyed because we did not put up as much offense as usual. Again, we gave up the 6 most chances so far on the season, high danger chances compared to any other game. So it's not like this was a defensive shutdown game. It was Schmidt actually giving us our first goalie steal of the season, because when a goalie actually makes saves, it makes everything else look a lot better. I think that really covers it. We got a goalie steal, and that's what it was. We scored just enough to get the win, and now we head into a Calgary Edmonton back-to-back 4 p.m. starts on both. Should be interesting. Definitely can't wait to watch both of those actually live. I think we're going to be at a friend's house on Saturday, so we'll have the kids. It's a whole get-together housewarming with a bunch of Devils fans who all actually have kids around the same age, and we'll see if we're hanging out for the whole game or what, because it's a decently far drive for us. But we'll see how it goes. I will see you guys tomorrow morning to preview that Calgary game, and we'll go from there. But let's bask in this one, guys. Finally got a good goalie effort. We got some scoring. We got a win, and we are breathing down the necks of a nice position playoff spot. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, as always, and forever. Let's go Devils, baby.